Her spirit is never broken.
I got a big one.
Why not? My sisters don't fight.
Yeah. It's welcome to SMSU Esports. This is caster Kramagra, joined by a new caster for the first time, Hermione. Hermione, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm pretty excited because this is my first game of broadcasting, and I'm kind of excited to see how this game turns out.
Yeah, so SMSU tonight in League of Legends will be going up against Central Michigan. Pick and ban has already came through here, and as we're waiting for spectator delay to get down and get us into the game, we can take a look at these picks and bans and just kind of look and see what Central Michigan and SMSU are kind of going to be trying to do in the game. So Michigan going with a much more team fighting focused comp. They have that Malphite and that Jarvan. And with the two ults on Jarvan and Malphite, they get a good initiate from either of them. They can really force a team fight if they group up as five. SMSU has some tools in their team to team fight. Sejuani has her ult. A good 7-man ult from Sejuani will help get SMSU in that position to team fight. But that's not necessarily what SMSU is probably going to be wanting to do up against Michigan with their comp. They have that Camille. Camille very strong in the top lane. If she's able to get a lead, she's going to be able to try and split push. Jin has a lot more of that poke damage, especially when aided by that Nami. And especially for Michigan, SMSU does not want to get 1v1s with that Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser, of course, very, very scary with his ult, with his ability to heal and shield, and just act like a general juggernaut in the fight. And I'll be honest, Aphelios does a lot of different things. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how SMSU plays this. Michigan does have a master tier player who's going to be their AD carry, a very high impact position on the team, and something that you definitely have to be wary about if you're SMSU. You want to get some early pressure onto him and not give him an early lead if you can. Because those higher tier players will definitely take that lead and run with it. Any extra gold you can give them, they're just going to make you feel that pain. We've got about 10 seconds here until we get into the game. And we'll get to actually see how SMSU is going to stack up against Central Michigan. Now these different team counts are going to clash.
Pretty excited. Are you excited?
I am absolutely excited. It's been a while since I've gotten to cast some League of Legends. This is going to be the first game of League casting for me for this year, and it's been a while. I'm excited to get into it.
So it looks like we're gonna start. See what they got.
Aphelios actually deciding he's going to have Conqueror. I'm not an Aphelios guy, so I don't know much about that, but that seems interesting. Most AD carries tend to not opt for that mastery. See if we get a level 1 invaded all here from either SMSU or Michigan. Camille for SMSU actually not taking Flash at all, instead opting for the Teleport Ignite. Helps her get some extra lane pressure early on. No invades looking to come out. SMSU gets an early ward down in Michigan's Raptors. And Michigan gonna get an early ward down near Dragon Pit in the river.
It seems like SMSU was just covering their ground. Yeah, that's about it.
Just a little dance off here with Malphite.
Oh.
Wants to throw that around. So Jwani for SMSU going to be starting red. Counter to Jarvan going to be starting blue. Both of them getting a pretty decent leash from their bottom lanes.
Oh, it seems like before he was about to take out that one monster, but you saw another one creeping up on him behind. Not sure if that was going to affect him in some way.
Yep, trying to do a double camp there. There's a little bit of burn damage on that blue buff, or the blue buff monster, so as he's finishing that, just trying to be really efficient and path correctly in jungle so that he can get some early damage. Early on here. Not a whole lot going on. A little bit of trades coming out in the mid lane. A little bit of trades coming out in the top lane. Oh, and a big stun from Bard. Going to do a lot of damage on Antilelli. Antilelli falls. Bard is actually going to pick up that kill gold. Unfortunately not going over to his Aphelios, but you know, getting into early kill like that is a lot of pressure. A little bit of trades here coming out from Pajamas.
Oh.
All of that damage on Mordekaiser, and Phoenix just manages to pick up Pajamas. So Drawing going to be a little bit slower here to ramp up and be able to influence her lanes compared to Jarvan. Jarvan having a lot of early game damage and a lot of early gank potential. Joshua goes in there for the trade, but actually comes out behind. Manages to get his grass proc off, but Johnny gonna come up here into the top lane, try and get some pressure. Gets the flash off. Joshua does manage to get that early kill. Very important for SMSU if they're gonna be planning to have their Camille in that split position, which it looks like he will be, considering he has the teleport and the ignite. A little bit better of a trade, but Mordekaiser not going to be ready for Swedjwani coming in.
Oh.
Swedjwani does force out the flash, gets the stun off, but SMSU probably not going to be able to take out Mordekaiser just yet. But getting his summoner spell flash down is going to give them a good window to come back and re-gank that lane. However, if we just look at the gold advantage for Michigan, Michigan does have a 1.2k gold advantage over SMSU. More than likely coming out from that early kill. You know, SMSU answering back with one of their own, but CS must have a little bit of a differential here so far. Guys are going to spot out that Sejuani. Pings him for his team, so his team will know that Sejuani's down there. So Aphelios and Bard going to back off a little bit. And now 4 members of Central Michigan grouped up there by that dragon. Going to get Scuttle so that they can get a little bit of early vision control. They have a couple wards placed down there, a lot of vision control set up down there. And Aphelios and Jarvan for Michigan, looks like they're going to be starting up that dragon down there. A lot of early control there by Michigan, able to get an early dragon.
Oh. Are they able to get it? Oh, they got it. They got the dragon.
You know, an Ocean Drake gives them a little bit of more regen. Ooh, Bard actually going to be roaming down here into mid lane, trying to get some more pressure for his Mordekaiser. SMSU still just down 1k gold. If we look at this creep score, pretty close across the board other than that mid lane. Mordekaiser having about 15 more last hits up on Pajamas. Pajamas getting a little zoned out here. He's low on mana and a little bit low on health. And Mordekaiser does have 6 before him, so Pajamas very scared right now. If he gets pulled into that ult by Mord, he is more than likely dead.
Seems like he wants to go towards him, but he's trying to avoid the tower shooting him.
Yep. Doesn't want to get too much of that damage on him. And Bard and Nami both roamed mid.
Oh.
Already see a lot of that coordination and pressure coming out from Michigan, knowing that they want to group up early here and not let SMSU get any of that advantage to give them a split gank. Oh, and Bard is just waiting for Nami. Gets a stun out on her, but is just going to trade off, back off. No completed items quite yet. Jin will opt to go for those Swifty boots as compared to Aphelios' Noon Quiver. Jarvan getting some more vision control up there by SMSU's blue buff. Echo is really getting forced out of lane, so Sejuani has to come into lane to try and relieve him. Echo still down with a level advantage to Mordekaiser. Elkazar down in the bot lane has a level advantage over SMSU Cedric. Bard has level advantage over Ansel. Jarvan gonna come up in the top lane to get the ult pops off.
Oh, it seems like they're. Oh, they took him out.
Yeah, 2 ults come out for Michigan there.
They kind of ganged up on him a little bit.
They absolutely did. Did not give Joshua any room to get out of there. Cataclysm comes out from Jarvan, and the ult gonna come out from Malphite too. SMSU needs to take advantage of both those ults being down and try and get some pressure onto the map, but bot lane, Michigan already gaining a ton of damage on that turret. Jarvan looks like he's going to be setting up to try and get Rift Herald here.
Seems like he's going for it.
Oh, but he gets hit by that.
Dang.
By Mordekaiser's Q there, and massive damage comes out. Mordekaiser, very, very dangerous. You do not want to see a Mordekaiser with a lead, because he will just ult you and 1v1 you to death.
Well, you still have to try.
You absolutely do, and if you're SMSU here, you need to try and get back in this game somehow. They were just down 1k gold, but already that gold lead has skyrocketed to 4.5k. Jarvan gonna drop Rift Herald. down in the mid lane. And mid lane turret falls, and now early mid turret down is going to open up this match a lot for Michigan. Jarvan going to jump in there, gets the flag and drag, gets a little bit of damage off, but commits a little too hard. Does get out, gets taken out by Spicy Lotus, but Bard is going to be there to help.
Oh my.
Bard gets the drag. Echo does ult. Jin ult comes out though and helps out Echo.
Oh my.
And now some more brawling coming up on the top lane. A lot of action happening all over the map here in this match. Camille gonna try and trade out with that Malphite, but Malphite with all the armor. Camille does ult. Malphite ults off cooldown as well. Does blow his flash and is gonna try and back off here. Joshua trying to find something, but he's low health. Malphite has his shield back up now, and Joshua has to back off. Across the board now, though, Michigan, almost every single one of their main characters, besides their support, has a CS lead over their opponents.
So it looks like the red team slayed another dragon, causing them to get another one of those souls.
Yep, it's going to be an Inferno soul game, so some of that terrain will get taken out. Sejuani, though, in the mid lane to try and help out her Echo. But the Echo is going to get taken out by Phoenix, and Phoenix might just get two here.
Oh, but will he make it? Ah, he did.
Phoenix does flash for that kill. But picking up two, Mord always already in that incredibly dangerous position. 5-1, has his Riftmaker fully completed now. The first completed item to come out. Decides Bard with his Moonstone Renewer. Oh wait, that is not a Moonstone Renewer. That is a component to a Moonstone Renewer. Ophelios in a 1v2 situation, but he's so up in CS and gold. Almost takes out Ansel Ellie. And now Joshua and Saeed gonna be brawling up in that top lane, but Bard comes in, gets the stun, and that's gonna be an easy kill for Saeed.
I feel like it's these sneak attacks that are keeping SMSU off guard. So I feel like they should just get out of there as soon as they can. Before getting killed, of course.
Of course, of course. Michigan doing a really good job of getting a lot of vision control, and Jam is trying to make something happen, but he's in a 2v1. Can't quite do anything up here against Malphite and Bard. Now going to get trapped on the tower, and now with 3 members of Michigan around him, they're going to be looking for the dive. Jam is forced to ult, Flag and Drag comes out, and Jarvan is just going to ult him with that Cataclysm for an easy kill. And now Mord commanding a whole bunch of pressure here in the mid lane. Even with 2 members from SMSU, they can't do anything against him. Jin for SMSU just in that bot lane, trying to farm up, trying to get some more money so that he can actually get an item here and compete. Ophelia is going to complete his Kraken Slayer here, and Jarvan likely going to be quickly behind him to complete his Gore Drinker. As I say that, Jarvan gets his back, does pick up his Gore Drinker. Oh, and Mordekaiser gets 1 Q off onto Pajamas and does so much damage. Camille finally going to be coming out from the mid lane mountain. Mordecai, SMSU going to try and do something to Mordecai. So they have 4 members here, but they can't manage to get him. Ult from Camille going to come out onto Mord. He's going to try and back off. They do take out Mordekaiser. SMSU going to be chasing down Bard now. Going to try and get him, but Aphelios and Jin trading down in the bottom lane.
Oh my goodness. They seem to be going for it. Oh,
Bard going to get taken out. Malphite has that pressure up in the top lane. Does manage to get the turret to fall. Jarvan going to be setting up that pink ward in Baron Pit. Going to try and get that early vision control. Oh. Malphite in SMSU's jungle here. Getting their blue buff off of respawn, it looks like. Now Sejuani and Nami down in bot lane will be confronted with 3 members of Michigan.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
Now you can see that Jarvan, he has the vision control already set up around Dragon. Michigan knows that Dragon's going to be spawning, and they're completely postured in SMSU's jungle. Ami and Sejuani. Not in quite dangerous situations now, but Echo going to be face checking into a ward of Michigan. Michigan has the Malphite and the Jarvan here in this jungle for the Wombo combo. Aphelios doing a ton of damage against SMSU's Jin. Echo going to come out onto Aphelios. Going to manage to take down Aphelios and get that shutdown gold. Very big for SMSU, but they are still down nearly 8k here.
Red team has slain the dragon.
Oh.
Michigan will just trade out their Aphelios for that dragon. Now with 3 dragons collected, the next one they get will give them the actual dragon soul. Some pings coming out from Michigan, looking like they want to posture over there by Rift Herald. I believe that's still Rift Herald. Unless it's Baron. I can't quite remember if that comes at 20 minutes or 15. It is still Shelly.
Oh.
Oh, but Mord ults that Sejuani and is just gonna try and get that.
Oh,
it does
he did a
so much
sneak
damage
attack.
to him.
That was a sneak attack.
Now Bard gonna be there to try and help out Mordekaiser, while Jarvan does work on taking out Rift Herald. Get some more pressure in those lanes. SMSU not having a single turret taken out yet on the side of Michigan. Michigan having both of their mid turrets and both of their outer turrets in their bot and top lanes. Giving them a lot of pressure on this map. Gonna group his 3 up in top lane for Michigan. Gonna try and get that secondary turret. They have the Mordekaiser, they have the Jarvan. Jarvan's gonna flag and drag in, but not really looking for anything, just trying to position himself. Going to potentially precarious situation here.
Oh,
Johnny does.
what is happening?
Ami Nut comes in. Jarvan getting a lot of damage on him, but he does ult in, flashes out.
Oh my goodness.
Jarvan takes out Pajamas. Joshua gonna try and get in there and take out Jarvan, but Jarvan gets hit by the explosive bush.
Oh, wow.
Throws his Q in and picks up Joshua as well.
Wow, he just like teleported right when he's on the brink of death and just kills him.
He does indeed, he does indeed. Uses that flash to the best of his ability.
Oh my goodness. It's very handy, don't you think?
It is very, very helpful. If it was personally me, I would love to have flash all the time, but unfortunately it's on a 5-minute cooldown. You can only jump around and teleport every now and then.
Make sure you gotta time it right then.
Absolutely. Especially if you're a jungler, you want to make sure that the enemy doesn't have any flash when you come in for your gank, because it can kind of ruin your day real quick. Cedric gonna be forced to flash out of there by Michigan. Really burning that flash for nothing. At least he has the good sense to know that Cedric is quite ahead of him. Full items will be coming out for SMSU now. Camille opting to go for that Sunder up against the Mordekaiser, Malphite, and Jarvan. Should help her a little bit, but when you're as behind as she is right now in CS compared to Malphite, it's pretty hard. Malphite is just going to be tankier than tanky right now.
Oh, is he going to take him out?
Ults on to Pajamas.
Poor Pajamas. Just seems like he always dies.
Well, when you're 1-6 and the Malphite is 2-1 with a solid 60 CS lead, it is hard not to.
Yeah.
Camille. Joshua is going to try and find something on Aphelios, but Aphelios just heals right back up. Michigan going to bring Shelly down in here into the bot lane. Going to get this inner turret. Going to possibly be looking for an inhib now. Phoenix just manages to take out Jhin. Just a single Q dealing about 600 damage to him. Not a whole lot Jhin can do in that situation. Aphelios going to flash in. Actually doesn't pick up Sejuani. So only going to get out with just the littlest sliver of health. But now, Michigan is ready and set up for this Dragon Soul. Malphite going to get this secondary tower up in top lane, and your SMSU here, there's not a whole lot of life left in your team. Michigan's going to get this Dragon Soul, and with a 13k gold lead over SMSU, it is really, really hard to do anything up against Michigan right now. You can see the Collector coming out on Aphelios, going to let him do even more damage to SMSU. Execute them much easier. Jarvan with the Sterix gauge, and Mordekaiser, if he wasn't already hard enough to kill, decides he wants to get himself a Zhonya's Hourglass for his second item. That is just going to make it impossible to take him out. SMSU still just sitting on one item per character. Have a couple of component items, but mainly just completed boots and their first mythic item. Versus the mythic item boots and 2 or 3 items for Michigan. Mordekaiser already at that 3 item spike. Picks up a Rylai's if he wasn't already hard enough to take out and escape from. Now he's going to slow you when he hits you. Michigan looks like they're organizing up to try and take out Baron. Joshua going to try and do something up against the Malphite here, but Malphite has 2 items to Joshua's 1.
Oh my.
Malphite will be forced to ult out, but Jhin is going to ult. Oh, but Mordekaiser's there, and Joshua does take down Malphite. Mordekaiser does answer back by taking out the Jhin. Mordekaiser's so strong right now, and there's that Zhonya's Hourglass coming out, the Stasis coming out. SMSU does have 4 characters, but
oh my goodness.
they take out Mordekaiser before he takes out one of them. They do manage to take him out, but while SMSU was doing that, Michigan was on the other side of the map getting Baron. Now with that Baron, it's going to be very, very hard for SMSU. They already have an exposed inhib down in bottom lane. Oh, they're going to flash onto Jarvan, try and get him taken out, find something more. Jarvan ults, but he flashes out, and he's going to hit the explosive bush and gets out of there.
Oh my
But
goodness.
Aphelios puts himself in the wrong position, and he gets taken out easily by Joshua. But now some more completed third items probably going to be coming out now for Michigan. SMSU still just sitting on components for most of their characters for their second item. Tries to get some damage out on the Malphite, but he's so dang takey. Actually forcing Malphite to ult out again. Really good by SMSU to get to catch Malphite in those situations. Bardel's going to come out, and it's going to catch Joshua. Mordekaiser's going to be there to capitalize. Mordekaiser does ult Joshua. Jumps in, gets the Q out on him, but now Mord very low.
Oh my goodness.
Mord does get taken out, but Sejuani will quickly follow.
That's a double kill.
Ult's going to come out from Jin, try and find something. Echo's going to try and find something on this Bard. Bard is going to use his Zhonya's Hourglass.
Oh.
Oh, but Jarvan trades back and takes out that Jin. Now Echo trying to get out of there, trying to get his money and run.
Oh my goodness. That was a lot of action that just happened.
There's a lot of things going on at every point of this game. There's a lot of abilities flying left and right, left and right, left and right. It's hard to keep track of what's going on, but we're doing our best. Camille will finish up that Ravenous Hydra, so he gets a little bit more healing, gets a little bit more dangerous, but Malphite already itemized into that Thornmail. Going to have the Grievous Wounds to reduce Camille's healing and everybody else's healing on SMSU's team that decides to attack him. Jarvan still an absolute menace for Michigan. He's going to get double teamed here, but Malphite is just across the Dragon Wall. All comes out from Aphelios, doesn't connect. Michigan just going to back off here. Looks like they're setting up vision control to try and take down and get the Elder Dragon Soul. SMSU trying to get a little bit more vision control in their jungle, trying to reclaim some space so that they can have some chance, but Mordekaiser is just sitting here in the bush. Misses his E, doesn't get the drag onto Echo. Had he, Echo would be a very, very dead man right now. Sejuani gonna find those little two wards from Michigan, gonna take them out. But Michigan still has full vision control set up by Dragon, and this is gonna be where the fight happens. SMSU has yet to take out a single outer tower. With Camille, does have teleport, does have ignite. SMSU needs to have some wards set up for that Camille to teleport in onto. Dragon gonna be spawning here soon. Camille teleports down, does ult in.
Whoa.
Ellie gonna get picked up by that Mordekaiser. So much damage being done by Michigan's Aphelios. Pajamas can't do anything up against that Malphite. Malphite just ults back in on him after he gets Echo to ult. Now Elder Dragon's going to spawn, and Michigan is here with Mordekaiser and Jarvan, and they're going to easily be able to take this thing out. And with only one member left alive on SMSU, with respawn timers still quite long at this point. Jin going to be solo up against this Bard. Has to try and take out these super minions, as now SMSU will soon have 2 inhibs fallen, with plenty of super minions flooding in from the mid lane.
Oh my goodness. You just seen fighting from left and right, up and down, all around. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and Kilo comes in and is just being a menace with that Jarvan. Just gets a free double kill. And this is going to be the end for SMSU.
Ah.
Well, looks like we have a little bit of a glitch or a pause. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Let's see if we can't fix this real quick. Not quite sure what's going on with the league client right now, but as we can see, SMSU is going to lose the game there, and forfeit potentially have been coming in for SMSU, which may have been why it paused. And as that game wraps up here, and as we try and figure out this technical issue going on, we will be right back here for game 2 out of 3 of SMSU versus Central Michigan. Welcome back to SMSU Esports for SMSU League of Legends versus Central Michigan. I'm here with Hermione for our second game. We got about 2 minutes before we load in here. Looking at picking bans here, SMSU opting actually not to ban out the Mordekaiser or the Jarvan, which is very interesting. Hermione, what do you think about them letting Jarvan back through? Her mic seems to not be working right now.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Okay, well, in the previous game, you saw Jarvan and the other one. What's the other
Bard?
one? Huh?
Bard?
No.
Oh,
The
Mordekaiser, sorry.
Mordekaiser, yeah, him. You saw him and Jarvan working together, and then you saw them as one of the most strongest characters on the team, which took out a whole bunch of people. So
Yeah,
it's just kind of confusing as to why.
yeah, I'm not sure why SMSU let that Jarvan come back through. Jarvan, very, very strong right now. Got a couple buffs a little bit ago, where he does a lot more damage with his ult and his passive. And just generally being a really, really strong early game jungler. Last game he was up against SMSU Sodrani, and Sodrani could not just match his map pressure early on. So SMSU this time around gonna decide to opt for a more carry-oriented jungler with the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix gonna be able to do a lot more early on compared to Sodrani. Has a lot more dueling power with that Jarvan. And just overall, as the game goes on, is going to do a lot more damage. Interestingly enough, though, Michigan decided to ban out the Jhin and the Camilla. Even though it didn't seem like either of those characters were giving them a particularly hard time, possibly just wanting to ban out a comfort pick from SMSU with their top laner and their bottom laner, making them pick something that they don't necessarily play as much. It could also just be that Michigan didn't want to play against them in the comp they're running. Jhin last game did manage to get a lot of help with his teammates with his ult just from across the map, and Camilla definitely did some damage and helped out towards the end of the game. Not necessarily being as dominant early on. Camille. I'm saying Camilla. It's Camille. Loading into game here. We can see no ignite teleport for Joshua this time around. Gonna just stick with that flash and TP. And Phoenix actually opting to go for Zed this time over Mordekaiser. Very interesting that he did that. Mordekaiser was incredibly dominant last game, had many 2v1 situations, but maybe just want to give SMSU a chance to adapt to that pick. No early invades going to be coming out for SMSU or Michigan. Just going to decide to have a little bit of gentleman's agreement here. Both starting bot side. Michigan with their red and SMSU with their blue. Have to see if Kha'Zix can get some early pressure from SMSU. SMSU also switching up quite a bit with the bot lane. Instead, this time around, opting to go with the Morgana and Lucian. And Michigan just deciding to stay with that Bard, but this time picking up with a Misfortune. Possibly a little bit of wombo combo action with that Jarvan ult and with that Kennen ult. SMSU definitely looking for a little bit more of a pick comp this time around. Michigan giving up a little bit of their team fighting tools, although definitely keeping that top and jungle synergy there with their Kennen and their Jarvan. You definitely do not want to get Jarvan ulted as a team and then have Kennen fly in and shock you all to death like a little Pikachu he is. Early stun coming out there from Bard, getting a little bit of trades onto Morgana. The Zed Ahri matchup here in the mid lane. Ooh, Ari actually gonna proc her electrocute on Zed there. Gets a little bit of an extra trade off of him. Bard is cheeky with these stuns, managing to chain them through the minions and chain them into the walls. Putting some extra pressure onto Cedric. Not a whole lot going down here in this mid lane yet. Zed and Ari just going to try and farm up here. Try and get some level 3 and see what they can do against each other. Zed having the Ignite to Ari's teleport this time around. And actually teleport on Cedric as well. Interesting to see the AD carry for SMSU not going for the heal. Definitely doesn't give him as much security, but can possibly help them get some more pressure on the map with SMSU having 3 teleports as opposed to the 1 on Michigan. Kazakh's coming here into the mid lane, try and help Pajamas get a little bit of pressure, and now SMSU actually pinging that they want to get some bot mid vision control. Ari gonna help Kazakhs get this scuttle early on. Get a little bit more control here in the bottom lane and posture to try and help out the bottom lane. Aurelia coming in here with an early back, must have gotten traded out by Kennen in that top lane. But now Kazakh's gonna come into the mid lane. Zed just gonna shimmy away. Not a whole lot of danger. Still has his flash. Flash is actually across the board up for everybody on SMSU and Michigan. Oh, now Jarvan and Kazakhs both in mid lane. But gonna back off here. Kazakh's not going to be... Don't know if he knows that that bottom lane bush is warded. Is going to use his trinket. He's going to spot it out, but now he's going to come into the bot lane. Get some damage onto Misfortune.
Oh.
Forces the flash out. And now Bard was in a difficult situation, but in the end, he is Bard. He's able to just teleport out of there. But SMSU does force the back out from Misfortune. Potentially letting their Lucian shore up that little bit of CS lead, but Bard gonna be roaming here. SMSU does ping it out. They know he's there. Backing gonna come out from Zed here. Ari not necessarily aware of that. Zed backed from where SMSU did not have vision. SMSU though gonna look for an early dragon here. Jarvan will be here for CSU though.
Oh.
Now it looks like we're going to see a little bit of a skirmish here in Dragon.
So what's going to
A
happen?
little bit of a 50-50 smite battle here.
Oh, you see more
Jarvan's
of
going
the
to jump in there, but
CSU.
SMSU does get the smite off on the Dragon.
Oh.
Jarvan's going to fall. Dark Binding comes out onto
Oh, my
CSU.
goodness.
MF low. Going to get picked up by Cedric. Now is that going to... No, doesn't have ult actually yet. Does get the Ignite off onto Lotus, but it's not going to be enough. And SMSU... Really, really big play there. Comes out 2 kills ahead.
Yeah.
And a dragon ahead.
And a dragon. Wow.
Yeah. Now level 6 there for Pajamas. Phoenix doesn't quite have it. Interesting, however, we don't see the teleport coming out from Lucian here. Could easily teleport back into lane, and match up his movement with the Morgana, but opts not to do that. Probably saving it to try and pressure later on. And up in the top lane, it's very, very close with only a 4 CS difference between Kennen and Aurelia. You know, top lane kind of acting as top lane does. A little bit of an island early on here. Neither TPs, well, TP coming out from Aurelia a bit ago, about 2 minutes ago. I'm not sure when she did that. Probably just did it to come back into lane, keep her pressure, but Kennen does the TP. Both of them are 6. And now with 6, nearly coming up across the board for SMSU. Just their bot lane, lagging behind a little bit. Jarvan Gonna look to try and gank here up and top. Aurelia, not sure if she realizes that Jarvan's there. Since he's in the bush, she cannot see him, and she does not have a ward in the bush to know he's there, but Aurelia not necessarily pushed up into position. Oh, and Kha'Zix actually in Jarvan's jungle is going to steal away his red buff here for free. SMSU doing a lot better job of... Oh, Jarvan actually not backing. Does get a little bit of vision control. It's going to actually start up Rift Herald here. But now Kha'Zix possibly looking for that gank in the mid lane. Zed gonna back off here though, and go on, make sure he's in location to help out his Jarvan. Kha'Zix is just gonna have to back off. And now, Michigan with that Rift Herald. Ooh, and Aurelia very low in this top lane. Needs some help from her jungler, possibly. Kennen peeling away from her a little bit with a 12 CS lead. And despite being killed once and being forced to back earlier, Alcazar is actually has a 15 CS lead on the Lucian for SMSU. Lucian, of course, does have that kill over him and an assist, so will even out. But despite SMSU making those big moves up on Michigan, Michigan does have a slight gold advantage, keeping it fairly even, 13.4k to 13.1. Dark Binding does land onto Alcazar. We're gonna get a little bit of poke damage on him, but Alcazar gonna more than likely even that up. Components coming out for across the board. Kennen actually gonna opt to get that early Sork Shoes, get that early magic penetration onto Aurelia. Aurelia, not quite sure what she's gonna be opting for item-wise, as far as her mythic goes. Does get the stun onto Kennen, but Kennen will just be able to dash away there. Kha'Zix posturing towards the bot lane, and fight coming out in mid lane. Ult does come out from Zed, but it's not enough from Pajamas to take him out. But now Pajamas in a dangerous position. Kha'Zix gonna ult down into mid lane. Does get a big Q out onto him.
Wow.
Ult's in there, all invisible. Stun comes out from Aurelia. Counter ult's gonna come out from Kennen. But Jarvan's gonna be there to pick up Aurelia. Aurelia does flash out.
Just
And now
when
the
it was
league
getting
client
good.
deciding it wants to bug on us right as all the action's going on.
Exactly.
Oh, it decides it wants to resume.
Oh, it seems I see
And
SU.
Jarvan will pick up Aurelia there.
It's awful. Kind of came from behind and did a sneak attack shank on him.
That is one way to put it. Dragon going to be coming up here very shortly. Neither team has a whole lot of vision control, but we do see some things coming out from SMU. Oh, Bard gets a massive stun.
Oh my goodness.
Misfortune ult does come out, and Bard ult comes out as well, but they don't manage to pick up at either Lucian or Ansel Ellie, or Morgana for SMSU.
But it did take a lot of life out of them, so it's a good thing they retreated on time before they got taken out.
Yeah, that move by CSU is going to make taking this dragon much harder for SMSU. Oh, but Spicy Lotus, he's got Jarvan isolated. Jarvan jumps in, though, because he's got Bard to help him. And Zed's going to be there, picks up Pajamas, and now Kha'Zix's going to have to back out. His Lucian is there to help him, but a 2v3 situation. Jarvan's going to flag and drag, try and get in. Does get counter queued by Kha'Zix. Ult going to come out from Zed.
Oh my goodness.
Going to get quite a bit of damage down onto Spicy Lotus. But now, Lucian there trying to pick him up. Picks up one. TP's going to come out from the cannon. He's there. He's ready. He has his ult not off cooldown. He is going to get the stun, though, onto Cedric, and Cedric is going to fall. Sort of just a staggered situation. Oh, but Shelly comes out to try and deter SMSU. Oh, but
Oh my goodness.
Spicy Lotus does jump into the dragon pit and picks up the dragon with his smite. SMSU takes out Misfortune and Jarvan. Another 2 kills and dragon situation for SMSU. They do lose Pajamas in that engagement, but they pick up far more than they lost. But CSU still has a gold lead over SMSU somehow.
I feel like this game is going much better than the previous game because before SMSU was getting tarnished, and now in this game they're keeping around the same level. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, a lot more life in SMSU in this game. Seem to be playing their composition a lot more cohesively. They're playing off of each other a lot more than they
Yeah.
did in that previous game. Not getting behind early helps a lot. Gives them a lot more of that confidence to push their lead and throw their weight around a little bit. But CSU just managing to keep that gold lead up. If we actually look at the minimap, CSU has managed to get 4 turret plates as opposed to SMSU 1. More than likely where some of that gold is coming from them, as well as the fact that they have CS leads in their 3 main lanes. Kennen with a 15 CS lead over Aurelia. And mid lane, fairly close. 93 on Zed compared to 85 on Ari, but that bot lane, very, very different. Misfortune managed to get 2 kills in that last engagement. And her CS lead will more than make up for those kills and the assist that Lucian has, having about 20 CS over it. Full item actually now. Full item on Kha'Zix. Gore Drinker on Jarvan and Gale Force on Misfortune. I just about forgot what Gale Force was called for a second. I wanted to call it Cloudburst, but that's the name of the active effect.
Basically the same thing.
Just about. Just a little semantically different. Ooh, Arya is gonna catch that Bard. They do get the Dark Binding out onto him, but Zed's gonna ult back in.
Oh wow.
And neither actually gonna fall as Rift Herald looks like it's gonna fall. Bard actually still hanging out here with so low health. Gonna try and throw in some stuff. Kha'Zix is gonna fall though to that cannon. Ult comes out from Jarvan and Aurelia. Aurelia trying to make something work, does pick up Phoenix. Jarvan though jumps back in there. And now Kennen with a triple kill. Can he get the Quadra? Looks like he is, and Kennen with the Quadra
Oh my
kill.
goodness.
Only reason you get the Penta is because Lucian's on the other side of the map right now.
Oh my goodness. That was just one right after the other. Wow. Wow.
And we see Elkazar just deciding he wants to use his ult to clear out that wave. And now a lot of damage coming out from CSU. Managed to get 2 mid turrets down. And they have SMSU's bot turret, whereas SMSU doesn't have any of CSU's outer turrets yet. So despite having those 2 dragons and getting those early kills, they haven't been able to push them. Well, Lucian does manage to pick up the bottom turret, so that does open up the bottom side a little bit for SMSU. But those mid turrets are so important. Now Kha'Zix kind of looking like he wants to fight with J4, but J4 not wanting anything to do with it. Just backs off to be with his teammates. And back's going to come out from Bard, and J4 more than likely here too. Unless J4 here gets converged on by Kha'Zix. Are they going to see him before he... Oh, and now Jarvan is stuck.
Whoa.
He's got to contend with Kha'Zix and Morgana.
Wow.
And isolated like that, Kha'Zix is not the champion you want to deal with. Ooh, Zed going to be there to try and defend his AD carry. Kha'Zix going to try and do some damage onto Zed. Get some damage onto him. Oh, picks up MF, and he's going to pick up Zed as well.
Wow.
Kha'Zix coming up with a massive double kill there after picking up Jarvan on his own.
It started off with catching Jarvan off guard, and then everybody started coming, and then he just started killing them all.
MF and Zed. Zed had the right idea there to help out MF and try and help his AD carry, but they got too much space between them, which allowed Kha'Zix to get that isolation damage out onto him and really just melt right through him. We saw Kha'Zix gets 1 Q on Zed and it takes nearly a third of his health away instantly. Now, full completed items coming out for SMSU. Mythics on their top jungler and mid, as well as their jungler. And actually, SMSU's MSOE deciding she's not going to go for a support mythic here. She's going to go for Leandri's Torment and do some extra damage that way. Try and keep this pressure up. Oh, and MF in a dangerous position. Kha'Zix launches himself in, but he's going to get countered out by Jarvan. You need to back off now. But we are very soon going to be getting into, well, actually, Kha'Zix has 11. We are more than likely in Kha'Zix reset territory. He's going to evolve that E. Be able to jump in there, gets 1 kill, and jump right on through them. Kha'Zix is going to need to do that for SMSU to keep giving them this momentum and fight that they have in them. But if you look at the minimap, look at that vision control by CSU. SMSU has a sole pink ward in CSU's jungle compared to the massive amount of wards in the river for CSU, not letting SMSU get any vision control. CSU wants to know where they are and wants to dictate the pace of this game. You can see them just continue to fight for vision control in the blue side jungle of SMSU. SMSU gonna try and counter back. Managed to pick up that 1 ward, but there's so many left from CSU. Now some more vision control fighting up in SMSU's red side jungle. Morgana gonna throw down that pink ward. Kha'Zix gonna pick up his red buff. No fighting quite yet.
Like you said earlier, it seems like they're just taking out the vision control things that CSU has planted.
Ooh, big catch there onto that Bard. A little too far away from his teammates. Now Kha'Zix gonna be running around. Gonna take out that other pink ward. Gonna make sure that that bush is only for his. Ari doing the same on the Raptors for SMSU. Ooh, but Lucian gonna encounter Jarvan here. Knows he's there, but Jarvan, a little too tanky for Lucian right now. Has his plated steel caps. Lucian not gonna be able to do quite as much damage yet against that early mid-game power spike. But Aurelia for SMSU up in the top lane, getting a lot of damage onto that turret. Turret plating has fallen at this point, and SMSU gonna pick up another turret here. Gonna open up the map a little bit more for them. Very important for them to do that. We see that CSU still has a gold lead over SMSU, but to SMSU's benefit, they have 3 dragons. They've managed to get 3 dragons, so the next dragon that does spawn, if they manage to get the next dragon, they're gonna get the big Dragon Soul buff from it. And so although the stat bonuses from the dragons we don't see them as gold, they are definitely still there. And they're definitely still there, and you just don't see them in the gold math. Oh, MSOE quickly falling there in the mid lane. Not going to be as important of a pickup for CSU, though. She will be back here in 20 seconds, but Dragon not spawning just yet. A little bit of aggression here, though, in SMSU's blue side jungle. Again, vision control being fought over, and SMSU, you know, not fighting in areas where they don't have that vision control. Deciding they want to take smart fights and not contest in areas where they just don't know exactly where CSU is. Oh, but Kozik's in a really dangerous location. He can jump over there, and he's gonna, and he gets all that damage onto
my
MF,
goodness.
and MF is deleted in an instant.
Quite a
Jarvan
sneak
gonna
attack.
try and do the same thing on Pajamas, but Ari not quite as squishy as that MF, and has a lot more mobility tools to get out of there. Lotus gonna get picked by that Bard ult, but not gonna do anything. Lotus 7-1 here. Look at that vision score. He is doing a ton for his team to get rid of that vision. CSU knows they need to fight. They're gonna. Jarvan manages to pick up Lucian early on. Kha'Zix has to flash out, and Kennen getting a lot of damage down. Kha'Zix doesn't want to leave this fight, though. He needs to be there. Oh, but he tries to get some damage onto Kennen, but Kennen will pick him up. And now CSU trades out just their Jarvan through 3 members of SMSU. Managing to keep that Dragon Soul out of SMSU. Managed to get a Inferno Drake for themselves. Very important for them to do that.
I think that was a good tactic that they used, that they stayed in that dragon area, and as soon as SMSU came, they just struck at them until most of them were all out, and then they decided to take the Dragon Soul for themselves.
Absolutely, making sure SMSU doesn't get that Dragon Soul, and make sure that they don't give them any more of an advantage than they need to. Baron now on the board. Well, not on the board, but available to be on the board for either team. See if that might be where some more of the fighting is going to be going on. SMSU still, however, has not gotten that mid turret to fall. You really need to do that to open up this map a little bit more. CSU's Bard. Just looking at his vision score. Vision score of 63 on that lens. He's doing a ton to just contest and get rid of all of SMSU's vision and make sure that CSU has the vision control on the map, and you can see him doing it right there. Kha'Zix a little isolated right now. Does see Bard, but doesn't want to bite, doesn't want to jump into multiple members of CSU. Needs his team there to help balance him out. CSU having about a bit of a 3-2 split here. Back will come from Zed. Ari may be on the other side of the map from her team right now, but she has that teleport. She can get back over there if she needs to. See if SMSU wants to group up mid here, try and push down that tower. Kha'Zix's going to ult in, try and find Alcazar, but burns his ult for nothing. SMSU just kind of meandering around here mid, trying to figure out what they want to do, where they want to commit. Trying to find a pick. But none coming through quite yet. CSU has all of their ults up. And a Misfortune ult in combination with a Kennen or Jarvan ult, or both of them. It's incredibly dangerous for SMSU. SMSU has to try and not get caught. Jarvan gonna jump in, gonna get that knock up onto Ansel Ellie. MFL gonna come out, gonna pick up Ansel Ellie. Not gonna find more than that, but they force Pajamas, or not Pajamas, they force Cedric, SMSU's Lucian to back. And now CSU gonna continue to try and get some vision control. And they're going to start up that Baron. The timing for SMSU. SMSU needs to be there to contest this. They can't give it to them for free. It looks like that may just very well be what happens. SMSU's Lucian. Unless Lotus here can get a spicy smite steal. But he doesn't even get the chance. He gets stunned out by Bard. And now that's Baron on the board for CSU. Be a very dangerous thing here for SMSU. Ari still not with her second item yet. Versus the full 2 items of Zed. Jarvan almost on his 3rd item. Not quite as much of a menace in this game as he was last game. But he also didn't get those early kills. Many of those kills going over onto Asid in that top lane on his cannon. And SMSU has a lot of those kills on Spicy Lotus, and Spicy Lotus is there. He's going to take out Misfortune.
Another one of those sneak attacks.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you do not want to be on the receiving end of that from Kha'Zix. He is one scary bug. And now a dive going to be coming. Not even a dive. Cannon taking a couple tower shots, but not under tower for the majority of that. Ooh, but Zed going to try and get some damage onto that Kha'Zix. Misses a Shuriken, though, and that Deathmark is going to pop, but not going to do all that much to Kha'Zix. Still very, very dangerous with that 8-2. But now SMSU, they lose their top lane tower, their top lane secondary tower. They've lost their mid lane secondary tower well long ago. And mid lane, the mid lane outer tower is still up for CSU. Dragon, though, gonna be spawning here, and this is gonna be another fight. SMSU wants that Dragon Soul. But that Jarvan, that Baron buff, so dangerous right now. SMSU gonna try and find another pick as they have been. But if they get fully engaged on by CSU, they're not gonna be able to survive. Ooh, Jarvan gonna flag and drag. Ari does manage to avoid it. MF ult comes out, does a ton of damage. Zed gonna ult in as well, picks up 1, picks up 2. And just like that, members of SMSU fall one after the other, after the other. Ari's going to try and use her stopwatch there, but it's not going to help when she's coming out of it with 3 members of CSU around her. CSU did just what I said they needed to. They managed to get those ults off one after the other, dealing a ton of damage onto SMSU, letting Phoenix just ult in there and clean it up, Zed style. Now SMSU down nearly 10k gold. Baron buff going to be expiring here in a little bit, but it will be back up in nearly 3 minutes here. SMSU needs to get some more vision control, needs to have those smart, fair fights. Needs to try and keep themselves a little bit spaced out. Can't be getting caught in there with that Jarvan ult and Kennen ult able to just, you know, really stun and lock them up as a team and force them into these straight up team fights, which they don't want to take. SMSU, with their comp, they want to get a Dark Binding, they want to get an Ari Charm, and then follow it up with some of the damage from Aurelia or Kha'Zix. Or Lucian or anybody else that can follow up on the damage. And Zed can ult in there. Oh, Kha'Zix going to try and get some damage, but he gets stunned by...
Oh, no.
Gets stunned out. Oh, and he nearly gets taken out by Bard. Gonna possibly get out of here with just a sliver of health. Has to avoid the Bard ult. Phoenix gonna jump in there and just...
Take him out.
Yeah. Not much you can do there when you're getting chased and chased and chased. MF ult gonna come out there. Gonna get a little bit of damage onto Ari. Oh, but Jarvan just being a menace. Jumping in there, not letting Ansel Ellie have any chance to do anything. Zed gonna ult in as well. Just get some damage out onto the Pajamas. Force him out of there. Let CSU get that inhib, and now that mid lane, not only does it still have the outer tower, but it's going to have super minions spawning in it and pushing it down at every point up until that inhib is back up. Dragon will be coming up here in 3 minutes. Baron going to be coming up in a minute, and with super minions pushing down that mid lane, it's going to be hard for SMSU to answer back. SMSU not having as much wave clear as they might like to have. And so Ellie gonna try and be compensating for that a little bit with her Leandre's Torment, but that's probably not gonna be quite enough to do what SMSU needs to do right now. level 18 actually on Cannon. That is insane compared to no other level 18s on the board. We saw that in the last fight between Cannon and Cannon and Kha'Zix. Not Jarvan. Cannon and Jarvan on the same team. Cannon, you know, getting that stun out onto that Spicy Lotus. Spicy Lotus having 4 levels below Cannon. You know, he's doing a lot of damage right now, but his farming has definitely fallen off. Oh, Spicy Lotus gonna get taken out there by Phoenix. Tries to face check into a bush that has 3 members of CSU in it, and that's gonna be CSU's. That's gonna be CSU's. Oh my gosh, the words are escaping me. That's gonna be CSU's Q to go for Baron. Just about said Dragon again. There's so much happening in this game, ladies and gentlemen. My words are escaping me. They're getting a little confused. Trying my best.
You're doing great.
Well, thank you. CSU gonna pick up Baron Nashor there. The super minions crashing down into SMSU's mid lane. CSU actually has a ward on that inhibitor for SMSU, so they know exactly what is going on with SMSU at every single point. They know if people are pushing into that mid lane or not. The ward will expire there, but Dragon gonna be up here in 40 seconds. And SMSU, if they have any hope of winning this game at this point, they need to get a good Dragon fight. They need to get a pick, and they need to get that Dragon Soul. But that's going to be very, very difficult to do when you're SMSU. You're 12k gold behind, and you have no vision control. And Kha'Zix's going to fall once again to Phoenix. Phoenix so dangerous right now. So Ellie's going to try and use her Zonias, but it's not going to be enough. She's going to quickly fall. And now MF using that ult once again in mid lane just to clear the wave, just to put some more